Hi, good morning, and welcome to the Information System Audit 3.0 course. And in today's session, I'll be talking about the challenges which is this exam forces on all of us and how to overcome those challenges, right? I will be also doing some mock questions with you with proper explanation for you to understand and to develop the conceptual clarity of the subject. So let's begin. See, information system audit examination, which ESA, right, of the institute, gives a lot of challenges, right? And it is essential that we understand those challenges so that we can develop a strategy and a framework of overcoming them. See, the first and the foremost is you must have seen the 6 modules of the courses. They are very exhaustive framework, and it has got a very exhaustive organization. Both the framework and organization forces the applicants to develop a habit of extensive reading and at the same time also a good comprehension. Now, both the two aspects of extensive reading and comprehension helps you in developing the conceptual clarity. Because without the conceptual clarity, you will not be able to answer the questions, particularly when the answers are mutually related and are not mutually exclusive. So, for example, that's a very popular way of asking questions in the ESA examination is which option describes the best, which clearly means that the options which you are having in the MCQs are almost, all are correct. But according to you, which describes the best or which option is the best suited for a particular problem. Same goes with the negative and with reinforcement. That means which option is not applicable to. The various options, you will find that the certain options are not applicable to a particular situation or a aspect of information system. So how to overcome these challenges? What I have observed, and from my experience, I can share that understanding the interconnection of ESA modules from 1 to 6 essentially helps in better comprehension of the study material. And this helps in finding the flow because you cannot pick up, it's not like that you read it, you solve it, and you understand it. The 6 modules are interconnected, one leads to the another. So it is very essential that we understand the flow. So first and the foremost is in this presentation, I'll be talking about how do you connect these 6 modules? How do you find the purpose of each module? Once you are through with it, then only you can decide that which module is connected to the other module and what is the significance behind it, right? Uh, Unfortunately, it is not available as of now. I have developed study reference material, and these are very precise concept which I have picked up exhaustively from the past ESA exam papers, based on the relevance and frequency, and which I have technically used design these questions or collected or sorted these questions by using our language. It's a text mining tool. So in a way, I have mined the text, all the 6 modules, and then figure it out what is the common theme that run across the module based on which the questions are being framed. It is not available, book is not available as of now, but it will be available soon. So let's put it this way, that how do you overcome the challenges? If you look into the module first, it talks about the information system audit process. It has 6 chapters, if I'm not mistaken, and it talks about the concept of information system audit in phases, computer-assisted audit tools, also known as CAT, and techniques, application control review with reference to the specialized system, and IT-enabled services. So, though it is, if you look into this module, it looks quite easy to understand what the information system audit is all about. But if we go into the details, it is better we understand that what is the objective of this module. The objective of first module dealing with the information system audit process is to equip basically applicant with the specialized knowledge and skill in leveraging the technology for providing reasonable assurance to the organization for safeguarding the data assets by analyzing, reviewing, evaluating, and providing recommendations on the identify weakness and control in diverse areas of the information system development. Now, what I suggest is that as an applicant, please read these 6 lines carefully, and you will get to know where you have to put your emphasis when you are reading and comprehending the module 1. look into the words like, reasonable assurance. That so you must understand that audit is nothing. We are giving a true and fair view of what we have observed based on the type of information which is made available to us. The same way, and when we are doing an information system audit, we need to give an assurance to the organization that the data assets or the information asset which the organization is using as a key resource are being safeguarded, and they do not have much of a weaknesses, and they're not all the systems of the controls which the organization has built in, they're working properly, and the information system development process is as per the objective of the organization. So if you look into it, this module 1, you will find keywords like information system audit, risk, threat, control, tools, techniques, and compliance. Now, when I say assurance, assurance means that when an organization starts for an example, if an organization like Paytm, they're using digital assets, right? So when they are using the digital assets, they must have designed their compliance policies, that what are the things which this, on the basis of which these digital assets will be maintained and will be protected and safeguarded. So as an auditor of an information system auditor, if I'm auditing the information system of Paytm, my responsibility is to give the management of Paytm an assurance that the systems which are functioning as of now are fully in compliance, with the policies and the procedures of the organization, which initially were decided before the Paytm came into existence. So remember that here you will find that the word which I personally think you should be paying attention to is, the word is assurance, compliance. You will be talking about weaknesses and control. So when you have 4 or 5 words in your, on to hold on to. So when you are reading module 1, you simply stick on to these 4 or 5 words. Whenever they are appearing in the sentences, give more importance to it. Module 2 talks about the governance and management of enterprise and information system and technology, risk management, compliance, and business continuity management. Now, if you look into this module 2, it has got now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chapters. So in the module 1, they have the information system has talked about the information system process as such, and it talks about the assurance you're going to give. When you talk about the assurance, you are trying to figure it out. What are the policies which an auditor has to see and to ensure that they are being complied? So then there comes the concept of governance and management of information system. Then you have a GRC framework, that is governance, risk, and compliance framework, and the risk management practices. If you look into it carefully now, you will find that the extension of the first module to the second is, now we are going into the details of risk management aspects. Then we have the key components of the governance system. Then chapter 4 deals with the performance management system, because you're supposed to give the assurance to the management of the organization who is using digital assets or who wants their digital assets to be audited. Then the last chapter talks about the business continuity management. Now, in this case, this is important because when you talk about the information system, you are depending on hardware and software. When you're talking in terms of, you're relying on machines. So sometimes it happens that the machines may go down, or the software may get corrupted, or may have virus, or they're prone to attacks, right? So in that case, what business continuity management practices organizations should use and ensure that 24/7 services are made available to the stakeholders. So the module 2 talks about the objective is to equip applicants with the knowledge and skill of planning and performing various type of information system assurance. Now realize, first module talks about the, auditor has to give assurance, and the second module talks about how you're going to give the assurance, because now you're supposed to look into the areas of governance, risk management, security, control, and the compliance of information system using the best practices. What are the information system audit standards, framework, guidelines, and procedures? In this case, you will find that the certain keywords I have mentioned here is security, compliance, internal controls, EGIT, governance, performance management, business continuity management, disaster recovery, and backup. I have already spoken about it. Moving on to the third module, we now talk about the performance. So now we have seen that the system is there. You have an information system in place. You have ensured that the information system is following certain rules and regulations. It is governed properly. Now the question is, you will also like to, as an auditor, comment on the performance of the system. So we talk about the system development, acquisition, implementation, and maintenance and application system audit. Now, this again is a very exhaustive one, which requires little understanding of the technical aspect of how the softwares are being developed, how they are tested and they implemented. Sometime what I have observed, there are quite a few questions which being asked from the ESA examination point of view. Now, let me give you a small idea at this point of time that as an ESA, the ESA course is not focused in making you, technical wizard by writing codes or understanding the programming languages. Well, on the other hand, the purpose of ESA is to keep you aware of the various technological development that are happening in and around the business organizations so that you can be, as a consultant, as an advisor, as an assurance giver, give management an idea as to how these technological advancements can be used by the businesses for enhancing their productivity and profitability. So here you will find that you have to develop the conceptual clarity of what is project management for system development lifecycle, what is system development lifecycle. You're also supposed to talk about the software testing, implementation, and application control. So if you look into it, the purpose of this or the objective of this module is to equip applicants with the practical knowledge and skills for understanding the concepts. Again, I'm repeating the word concepts related to the project management, system development, testing, and so on and so forth. Here you will find that the important keyword which I have highlighted is application control and the change management. Because now we are talking about, it's like that there are certain organizations who have started their business on an IT platform. They have their information system well in place, but there are certain organizations which are compelled to transition from their, physical resources to the digital resources. So in that case, it talks about the change management. So when you're talking about the module 3, please make sure that you study very carefully about the application controls and the change management. Let's talk about the module 4, which talks about the information systems operations and management. Now we are talking about what type of things that can go wrong or what are the things that an information system auditor has to take care. So for that, you need to understand the information system management. Now, when I say management, I'm talking about the planning, budgeting, and controlling aspects of the information system. We need to talk about also have a look into it, information systems operations and what are the software operations and management and incident response and management. Now, always, I'll just like to give you a small suggestion here that when you hear the word management, you think in those terms of planning, budgeting, and controlling of existing resources or the resources which an organization requires for future. So if you look into it, incident response, then we are talking about planning, budgeting, and controlling. What are the incidents that could happen when we are working in a digital environment, and how do you going to plan them, and how do you going to manage them, and how you're going to control them, right? So if you look into what the objective of module 4 is to equip you with the information system service management, information service policies, procedures, standards, and guidelines. Here you will find that the most important word that I've highlighted as a keyword is the backup or the incident response. As I have told you earlier, that whenever you are working in an information system environment, you may face certain problems because you are dependent on machines, right? So machines may, they have a tendency or they're prone for, some errors. In that case, you cannot afford to shut down your business for even for a smaller period of time. So what is the way you are thinking in terms of backup and how you're going to handle such incidences and what will be your response? That's the part which is very important in module 4. Look at the module 5. It talks about the protection of information assets. It's exactly that now we have talked about, we started with information system audit. We realized the compliance for the assurance. We talked about the project management, system development lifecycle. We talked about it now, the incidents response, and now we're moving ahead with how you're going to protect the information assets. This is a most important module from the ESA exam point of view. Now, introduction to the protection of information assets, why you need to protect, we're going to talk about it in this. Administrative controls of information assets, physical and environmental controls are there, logical access control, and the network security. If you look into this, as we go into the chapter 3, 4, 5, they become more technical, because now you will find that in the module, they have spoken about certain technicalities which we need to understand, and there's no shortcut for it. You cannot ignore it. You sooner or later, you must read it again and again to get into this frame of mind as to what are the physical and environmental controls, and what are the logical access control, and how the network security control works or are implemented. So if you look into it in this module 5, the objective is to, ensure that as an IS auditor, you are fully aware of the physical and logical access controls, because when, in physical environment, you have an access controls. You can restrict a person for not visiting up to a certain area. But in case of logical access, you have to write, or you have to define rules and regulations, who is authorized to access which type of information and to what extent. Similarly, you also have network access control for avoiding the situations of external threats and internal vulnerabilities. So last is module 6. In this module 6, it talks about the emerging technologies. As I have mentioned in the beginning, the idea of ESA course is not to make you a technical wizard, but to make you aware of the various technologies which are available and how these technologies can be used in leveraging the business's processes, so that this profitability and productivity can be enhanced, keeping in mind the stakeholders' interests. So if you look into it, it talks about the artificial intelligence, blockchain, cloud computing, analytics, Internet of Things, and robotic process automations. If you realize here, you will find that the 2 and 3 are very, very important, because blockchain is the one which is coming up. I'll be talking about it. And then you have a cloud computing, and then you have artificial intelligence. Unfortunately, all these areas which you are talking about, these are all evolving. They have not evolved as such. So a lot of things which are happening these days in the areas of artificial intelligence, blockchain, cloud computing, they're still evolving. They have not come to a platform where they can be benchmarked, right? So here you will find that I'll give you keywords like you should give importance to the cloud computing, because it is definitely, you will find that many questions coming from artificial intelligence, because it is evolving. You will find 1 or 2 questions, but cloud computing, you do have many questions in the ESA examination. So in the next few slides, I'm going to share some important concepts and the module wise that are being selected on the basis of frequency of the question asked in the ESA examination and the keywords. So now I'm with this all backdrop, I think you must have now developed that how the flow of ESA exam has been established. And now let's look into some important concept module wise, which I have covered in my book, which will be available maybe not for this examination, maybe the next examination. So if you look into it, module 1, you should be very carefully understanding risk, steps of risk assessment, types of risk, risk treatment, audit charter, compliance, and substantial testing. Very important. Control self-assessment, they call it CSA. Sampling, confidence coefficient, closure meeting and follow-up audits, data analytics, and computer-assisted audit tools, EDI, electronic data interchange, and integrated audit. Now, these are the few concepts which I have used a language R for text mining it in understanding the framework, that how these questions are framed on these topics in the ESA examination repeatedly, let's say, for instance, for the last 5 or 6 exams. Let's go into this module 2. It talks about, here you will be important concept which you must consider for worth reading and comprehending is the outsourcing function, because it requires, when you are talking about assurance, then most of the IT functions, because it's difficult to train and get the technology implemented in-house, so you normally outsource. That's an important area from an audit perspective, how we do that. IT strategy committee and its IT steering committee, then IT alignment with the business objective, very important. IT balance scorecard, role of various functions of IT, law, regulations, and industry standard. The last but not the least, most important in the module 2 is quality assurance and quality management. Module 3, it's again very interesting. It says online auditing techniques, very important. Testing in system development life cycle, yes, it is important. Check digit, very, very important. This is very technical. I have explained in my video, which are dealing with which deals with the module 3. Then parity checksum, that is CRC, PERT, CPM, that is project evaluation review technique and critical path method, Gantt charts, FPA, EVA, and time box. These are all important. Decision support system and expert system, definitely these are important. Then you have RAD, that is rapid application development. Again, these are all related to the system development lifecycle. Module 4 talks about, again, it is very important, and most of you will find at least not less than 7 to 8 questions, or maybe more than that, which are framed from this section. It talks about the recovery time objective and recovery point objective. Again, you have to refer to my, module 4 handout notes presentation, YouTube video where I have spoken about it. We talked about alternative recovery side, physical network media, alternative routing, diverse routing, components of LAN, and so on and so forth. Fifth, again, is an important because it talks about the Wi-Fi security. Firewall, again, it's a way of protecting the systems from the intruders. Then you should read logical access carefully. Encryption is again an important. Then you have single sign-on, then intrusion detection system and intrusion prevention system. These are again important. So these are all various aspects in the module 5, which you need to be, reading it very carefully and understanding it, the concepts behind it. Module 6 talks about the neural network. It's like how our brain functions. Similarly, trying to train the machine. Then machine learning is, again, it's a part of an artificial learning. Decision support system and expert system, I mentioned. Then we talked about the type of AI, blockchain technologies, smart contract is the one thing, cloud computing architecture is important. And 8th is very, very important, that is service model for cloud computing, right? So these are all the important concepts which I have discussed from module 1 to C, right? So with this, we have come to the end of this video. I would like to break here, and maybe in a day's time, I'll be, putting another video which talks about the mock questions, which will have approximately 50 questions randomly taken from all the modules with proper explanation for you to understand when a particular option you are selecting, then the reason behind it. Thank you very much for watching, and do subscribe to my channel if you like it. It is free, and also press the bell notification so that whenever I upload any new video, you're being informed. Thank you very much, and I really appreciate the encouragement which you people are giving it to me to make more videos and share the information. Thank you very much.